You're lying in bed, the lights are out, and you're staring at the ceiling. It's that quiet time of night when the real thoughts hit. You think about your car making that weird noise again. You think about that wedding invitation on the fridge and the flight you'll have to book. You think about your savings account, and you feel that familiar cold knot forming in your stomach. You've done everything right. You went to school, got the job, you pay your bills on time. You are the very definition of a responsible adult. So why does it feel like you're one bad month away from everything falling apart? But what if I told you the problem isn't that you're irresponsible with money? What if the single biggest obstacle standing between you and real wealth is that entire collection of responsible financial habits you've been so carefully following your whole life? And today, I'm going to show you exactly what those invisible chains are and how to break them, one by one. My name is Jake, and my job here is to cut through the noise. They tell you that finance is complicated, but the truth is, the most powerful strategies are surprisingly simple. My goal is to show you how money really works, so you can take control and get your money right. If you're tired of the confusing advice and want the straight talk on building wealth, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button if this video gives you some clarity. All right, before we get into the list, we need to talk about the psychology of what's really going on here. Most people operate under a dangerous false belief. If I could just earn more money, all my financial problems would disappear. We chase the next promotion, the better job, the side hustle, thinking that a bigger shovel is all we need to dig ourselves out of the hole. But that's a trap. Because for most people, earning more money doesn't fix the underlying problem. Think of it this way. Imagine you're in a car and you're trying to accelerate. You're pushing the gas pedal to the floor. You're working overtime. You're stressed. You can hear the engine screaming. But the car is barely moving. You're burning a ton of fuel, making a lot of noise, but you're not getting anywhere fast. Why? Because you've been driving with the parking brake on the entire time. These silent wealth killers are that parking brake. They are the invisible forces of resistance that are holding you back. You can't out-earn them. You can't outwork them. You have to consciously identify them and release them. Understanding this is the single most important step. It's not about finding a more powerful engine. It's about releasing the brake that's been holding you back all along. So, in this video, I'm going to expose the 7 most common silent wealth killers that keep people stuck. For each one, we're going to diagnose the psychological trap, look at the devastating long-term consequences, and I'll give you the one simple, actionable move you can make to finally release that brake and start moving forward. Let's start with a habit so deeply ingrained in our culture that it feels like the responsible thing to do. In reality, it's the primary reason most people will never build significant wealth. I'm talking about the habit of paying yourself last. Think about how your paycheck works. It hits your account, and what's the first thing you do? You pay your landlord, you pay the car loan company, you pay the credit card company, you pay the electric company, you pay everyone else first. Then you spend what's left on groceries, gas, and maybe a little fun. And at the very end of the month, if there's anything left over, which there almost never is, you might save it. This is what most of us are taught to do. But here's the brutal fact. The average personal savings rate in America is only about 6%. That's it. For every $1,000 of take-home pay, the average person is saving a measly $60. This isn't a coincidence. It's the direct result of putting your own financial future at the very bottom of the priority list. You're essentially treating your future self as an afterthought, hoping there are some scraps left over after everyone else has eaten. The analogy is simple. It's like serving a huge dinner to all your guests and then waiting to eat whatever is left on their plates. It's absurd, right? Yet we do this with our money every single month. We let everyone else take their cut of our hard-earned money, and our future gets whatever is left over, if anything. Breaking this habit is the first, most critical step to taking control. It's about flipping the script entirely. This isn't just a financial tactic. It's a declaration that your future is a non-negotiable bill that you pay first, not last. Before the rent, before the car payment, before anything else, you pay yourself. That brings us to the next silent killer, one that society has normalized so completely that we see it as a rite of passage. I'm talking about getting comfortable with bad debt. From the moment we turn 18, we're encouraged to take on debt. Student loans for college, car loans for a new ride, credit cards for, well, for everything. We're told that having monthly payments is just part of being an adult. But here's the kicker. Not all debt is created equal. And the kind of debt most people carry is a financial cancer. Let's look at the numbers. The average household carries over $9,000 in high-interest credit card debt. The average new car loan is now over $40,000, with monthly payments stretching for 6 or 7 years. This is what we call bad debt. Money borrowed to buy things that lose value, or worse, things that are consumed and disappear entirely. Let me tell you what this feels like in the real world. That $9,000 credit card balance at a 20% interest rate means you are sending $1,800 a year to the credit card company for absolutely nothing. That's $150 every single month that could be building your wealth, but instead, it's making a bank executive rich. You are literally lighting money on fire. The most powerful analogy for bad debt is trying to fill a bucket with a giant hole in the bottom. You can pour more and more water in, get a raise, work a second job, but as long as that hole exists, the bucket will never get full. Bad debt is a constant leak in your financial life. You cannot save or invest your way out of it. You have to plug the leak first. Getting your money right means becoming allergic to bad debt. It's about seeing a car payment not as a normal monthly expense, but as a voluntary wealth tax you're choosing to pay every month. It's a fundamental shift from accepting debt as normal to seeing it as the emergency it truly is. Now, this next one is sneaky. It feels good. It feels like progress. It feels like you've earned it. But it's arguably the most effective trap for keeping the middle class stuck forever. It's called lifestyle inflation. Here's how the trap works. You start your career making, say, $50,000 a year. You live in a modest apartment and drive a decent used car. Then you get a promotion and a $10,000 raise. Awesome! But what's the first thought? I can finally afford a nicer apartment. A year later, another raise. I deserve a new car. Before you know it, you're earning $80,000 a year, but you're somehow just as broke as you were at $50,000. Your income went up, but your wealth didn't. This isn't a personal failing. It's a deeply programmed societal script. We're taught that the reward for hard work is more spending. The data backs this up. Most people, when their income increases, increase their spending at almost the exact same rate. They're constantly moving the goalposts on themselves. Imagine you're on a treadmill. Every time you get stronger and start running a little faster, someone increases the speed of the treadmill just enough so you're still working your butt off but never actually getting anywhere. That's lifestyle inflation. It ensures that no matter how hard you work or how much more you earn, you never build a gap between your income and your expenses. And that gap is the only place where wealth is built. The key to escaping this trap is to make a conscious decision before you get a raise. Decide that at least half of every future raise, bonus, or windfall will go directly to your investments. This simple rule allows you to enjoy some of your success while ensuring your wealth grows faster than your lifestyle. This is how you finally get off the treadmill and start making real forward progress. So you've started avoiding debt and controlling lifestyle inflation. The next trap is a subtle one that often snares the most responsible people. It's what I call the saver's trap, or the belief that saving money is enough to build wealth. You know people like this. They are masters of frugality. They clip coupons, they pack their lunch every day, they have a healthy emergency fund sitting in a savings account. They're doing everything the old school financial gurus told them to do. But they're missing a crucial piece of the puzzle. Here's the harsh truth. Every dollar you have sitting in a traditional savings account is losing money every single day. The average interest rate on a savings account is a pathetic 0.5% or so, Meanwhile, the historical average for inflation is around 3%. Your money is losing purchasing power. It's like your safe savings are on a slow sinking ship. A few years ago, $100,000 in a savings account felt like a lot of money. But what can that same $100,000 buy today? A lot less. In 20 years, it will buy even less than that. Saving money is not the goal. It's the first step. The goal is to make your money work for you, and that requires investing. Thinking that saving alone is the path to wealth is like meticulously gathering all the wood for a fire, but being too afraid to ever light it. The wood is your savings. It has potential. But until you add the spark of investing, it can't provide any real warmth or growth. It just sits there, slowly rotting away. The bigger picture here is understanding the true definition of risk. Most people think investing is risky and saving is safe. The reality is the opposite. Keeping all your long-term money in cash is a guaranteed loss. Investing in a diversified way over the long term is the only proven path to outpace inflation and build real, lasting wealth. This leads directly into the fifth silent killer, the psychological barrier that keeps most savers from becoming investors. I'm talking about investing paralysis, driven by a deep-seated fear of the stock market. The media doesn't help. Every time the market has a bad day, it's the lead story on the news. Market plummets, flashing in red letters. They never lead with, market went up modestly today, as it does most days. Fear sells. And that fear keeps millions of people on the sidelines, holding cash while the market creates millionaires over time. The data on this is brutal. Studies have consistently shown that if you miss just the 10 best days in the stock market over a 20 or 30-year period, your total returns get cut by more than half. And here's the kicker. Those best days often happen immediately after the worst days, when fearful people have already sold everything. Think about the real-world consequence. Someone in their 30s, scared by headlines, keeps their life savings of $50,000 in a savings account. Over 30 years, that money might grow to $60,000, but its buying power will have been decimated by inflation. A different person invests that same $50,000 in a simple S&P 500 index fund. Even with all the crashes and downturns along the way, that money, based on historical averages, could grow to over $750,000. Same starting amount, wildly different outcomes. All because one person overcame their fear. Trying to time the market is like trying to jump onto a moving train. You might get lucky, but more likely you'll mistime it and get hurt. Or you'll be left standing on the platform as the train pulls away without you. The smart approach isn't to time the train, but to simply get on board and stay on for the entire journey. The goal isn't to avoid all risk. It's to take smart, calculated risks over a long period. Understanding that the stock market is the single greatest wealth-building machine in history is the key to unlocking its power, rather than being paralyzed by fear of it. All right, let's talk about something that makes people's eyes glaze over, but is secretly costing them tens of thousands of dollars. The sixth killer is ignoring the taxman's generosity. I know, taxes are boring, but here's what might shock you. The government has created specific legal loopholes designed to help you build wealth. They literally want you to use them. Yet a huge portion of the population completely ignores them. I'm talking about tax-advantaged retirement accounts like a 401k or a Roth IRA. When you contribute to a traditional 401k, you get an immediate tax deduction. If you're in the 22% tax bracket and you contribute $1,000, you instantly save $220 on your taxes. The government is essentially giving you a 22% discount on investing for your future. And if your employer offers a 401k match, that's literally free money. Not taking it is like turning down a guaranteed winning lottery ticket. So many people tell me, Jake, I can't afford to contribute to my 401k. But they don't realize what's actually happening. Let's say you want to invest $100 from your paycheck. If you do it in a regular account, you need to earn about $125 before tax to get that $100. But with a 401k, you just put the full $100 in pre-tax. It's a massive advantage. Not using these accounts is like deciding to run a marathon, but insisting on carrying a 50-pound backpack for no reason. You're making the journey infinitely harder on yourself. Your coworker who uses their 401k is running free and light, while you're sweating and struggling under an unnecessary burden. Learning the basic rules of the tax game is not optional if you're serious about building wealth. It's one of the easiest ways to accelerate your journey, and it's sitting right there waiting for you to take advantage of it. Don't leave free money on the table. And that brings us to the seventh and final silent wealth killer. This is the one that allows all the others to operate in the shadows, unnoticed. It's the habit of flying financially blind. What I mean is having no earthly idea where your money is actually going each month. You know your big bills like rent and your car payment, but that other $1,000 or $1,500, it just sort of disappears. A coffee here, lunch there, a subscription you forgot about, an impulse buy on Amazon. It's what financial planners call death by 1,000 cuts. Most people avoid tracking their expenses because they're afraid of what they'll find. It feels restrictive, like a diet. But the reality is the exact opposite. Tracking your money isn't about restricting yourself. It's about empowering yourself with information. A study by a major financial institution found that people who simply write down their expenses tend to spend 15 to 20% less without feeling deprived at all. Just the act of being aware changes your behavior. That person making $60,000 a year could free up over $500 a month just by knowing where their money is going. That's $6,000 a year that can be used to build wealth. Not tracking your money is like trying to navigate a ship across the ocean without a map or a compass. You're just drifting, hoping you end up somewhere good, but you're completely at the mercy of the currents. You might get lucky, but more likely, you'll end up lost or shipwrecked. A budget or a spending plan is your map. It gives you the power to steer your ship intentionally toward your destination. This isn't about counting every penny for the rest of your life. It's about taking 1 month to shine a bright light on your finances, to see where the leaks are, and to create a simple, conscious plan for your money. It's the ultimate act of taking control. So when you look at all 7 of these habits together, a powerful truth emerges. Building wealth isn't about some secret investment strategy or being a financial genius. It's about becoming aware of the invisible scripts that are running your financial life and making a conscious choice to write a new one. It's about releasing that parking brake so you can finally move forward. Now, this path isn't easy. Breaking these habits requires you to think differently and act differently than almost everyone around you. It means going against the grain. But the power to choose this path is completely in your hands. You can decide today to break one of these chains. Decades from now, your future self is going to look back at this moment. They'll either be thanking the person you are today for having the courage to start, or wishing you had. The choice is yours. If this video gave you some clarity and flipped a switch in your brain, prove it to your future self by hitting that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. Get your money right.